How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Rhode Island jam like you're all in the same garage. Get Cox Internet powered by fiber with America's fastest download speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
Hey, Mel. Bri here. Gotta work from home today because the whole family caught a nasty.
Daddy!
Hey, Mikey! If you're gonna puke, find the popcorn bowl! But my availability is 110%. Coincidentally, so is my fever. Kidding. Mel, I'm so cold but hot. But I'm gonna get you that budget just as soon as... Mikey! Popcorn bowl!
Press 1 to use Instacart and get your family's sick day essentials delivered in as fast as 30 minutes. Press 2 to keep working. Do not press 2. Just use Instacart, Brian.
This is Tony Kornheiser's show. I'm Tony. So what exactly is the show about? It's a sports show nominally. Football's over, but we're finally at a point where things matter in college basketball, and baseball season is on deck. Greatest 3 words in the English language, pitchers and catchers. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Feels like old home week.
I know what you mean.
Jeff Lutz.
Definitely old home week when you're here.
I hear you loud and clear.
And Jason Duda. For today, anyway.
It's old home week?
Are you saying I'm old or that I should be in a home?
Yes.
Alrighty then.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Hello, everybody. It's the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz, Jason Duda. We're here for the next hour and 45 minutes. How are you?
What's
Jeff,
wrong with you?
Well, we got to speed it up here.
No, we don't.
Why?
Calm down.
Oh, why not? I'm just going to lean into my
How come we
extreme
didn't get our
grumpiness.
normal intro
I'm not going to
today?
listen to you anymore.
Okay, great.
I'm done listening.
You're an
to
idiot.
you.
You're a moron. He's not listening. I can say anything I want.
Come on, Grumpy Pants. What's happening? What's going on? What's the story?
Oh, just a lot, a hectic life. 19 different ads before we come on the air. I'm just going to lean into it. I'm going to be grumpy, and I'm gonna relish in it.
That's crazy because yesterday was one of the better days I've ever had in my life.
What do you think of that, dude? Of me being grumpy and leaning into it. Jeff wants to get to the one of the better days I've had in my life.
Well,
but I'm not ready to go there yet.
Well, that's all right. You can be grumpy. He can be happy. What do you guys got? What's going on?
You're not going to change my mood. I'm not going to change your mood.
Here's his better day I've had in my life. Iowa State lost. The Guardians beat Oakland. I could get 9 guys from my block to beat Oakland.
Got to hang out with my family, got to sleep in, got to hang out with Jason, didn't have to hang out with you and your grumpiness.
Don't care about any of that.
Everything was just lovely. What a day. What a day.
Do you agree that was a great day
beat
yesterday?
Jason in our picks again.
He enjoyed his day. That's fine, yeah. He beat me in picks. Yeah, he did. But you know what?
Because he picked Oakland and it killed him.
I did. I picked Oakland just because. But
I don't know why you'd pick Oakland.
Just because.
To tweak me.
Oakland and Colorado should play 162 games against each other. Now, that would be fun.
Why? Because neither would win?
I'd love to see who's worse.
It's going to be interesting.
I like the way we played yesterday. I was happy with
You didn't play well. You beat a terrible team.
Doesn't matter. I was happy with the effort. I was happy with the approach. You could tell that the things that they worked on in spring training were being carried over to games.
Oh, my.
And it was nice to watch.
They'll lose 8-1.
Doesn't matter. And they won't lose 8.
It doesn't matter.
And they won't lose 8-1. And I already know. I can already tell. Just like you can tell after one game that your team probably not going to have anything, I can tell after one game that at least my team is going to make an effort. They're going to play hard. They're going to enjoy playing. They're going to have good leadership, and I'm happy. I'm happy with my team.
You're not going to comment on that?
I'm not sitting here
Jason
saying
Duda, by the way. It's a 3-man booth.
He's just talking about his team. I mean,
yeah, but even you were shaking your head over there.
It's annoying. I let him yesterday too. I gave him a little opening, and he ran with it. But it's my own fault. So
We broke
They
down
won
the
8-0
division
last night. They won 8-0 last night. We were breaking down the division, the lineups.
Bieber struck out 11.
You can't emphasize enough how bad Oakland is.
Oh, they're terrible.
They might be worse than the Cardinals. So let's not get carried away. And I'm not over here. I'm not a homer. Never have been. You are.
No, I'm
Always
not.
will be.
No, I'm not. I'll tell you, but I'm not going to get on the air and rip my team. I'll never do that.
You've.
Oh,
my God.
Oh, I'm not going to get on the air and let you rip them. Not going to let
Jeff.
No, I've never ripped my team on the
That's the
air.
most disingenuous.
Privately, maybe.
No.
But I'm not.
How many times have you heard him rip his team?
Lots. We're
Well, then
terrible.
you should
We
take
suck.
it-
We're going to be awful.
Well, then you should take it with.
If we don't have Harley Quinn, we're not going to win anything.
Shut up
Like,
about
you
Harley
do it all the
Quinn.
time.
Good.
I don't
God.
even know what that means, but it's
Roman
funny.
Quinn because he hit
Oh,
3
Roman.
homers in spring training
So I
last
call
year.
Oh yeah, that was
Last
an
year.
embarrassing look for you.
Harley Quinn.
Oh, I couldn't have cared less about Roman Quinn.
But don't sit over there and say that you haven't ripped your team on the air.
Never.
Oh, gee.
You notice anything different down here today?
TV's on.
Yeah.
What a beautiful picture too. I gotta say, there's nothing
It's about time
that
you
looks
turned it on.
better than a baseball field. You agree, dudes?
Golf course.
Golf course is right there too. Boy, it's windy in New York. We're watching
Windy
the
here.
Brewers in New York, Mets. But I got ATT fiber today.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Been having a lot of outages with Cox. Love you, Cox, but it's time.
We did the same thing about 2 months ago.
Well, there you go.
So I can't blame you.
I've had fiber internet for a long time. I don't know what's taking you guys so
It
long.
wasn't in our neighborhood until.
Well,
just
we live
recently.
in civilization,
Well,
and
that's the
we
only
don't
internet-
have to depend upon squirrels connecting us.
So having fast internet means I depend on squirrels.
Yeah.
Make that work.
Well, the only people that go out there, then, and they're not people, but the only people,
What?
the only
If you know when he starts laughing before he says it, it's about to be the least funny thing.
the only living creatures that can do anything out where you live are animals. So
Oh, that's great.
nobody's going to find you.
What does that mean?
When you call, if you call AT&T and you give them the address.
No, we don't have
live
AT&T.
at 712 Post Office Box North. Nobody can find that.
We don't have AT&T. We have a different fiber internet that does serve rural.
Who is it?
I don't know. Idea Tech or something like that? That might be wrong.
I
wouldn't
know
pay
it could be Idea Tech. Yes.
Well, maybe. Good luck to you. Hope it continues to work. I'm
It
just
does.
glad you have internet. How long did you have to survive with
Well,
spotty internet out there?
it wasn't great, but we got by with the satellite internet or whatever it was.
Is there anything that you envy about him living in rural America?
Yeah, it's quiet. Go outside. Got room. Yes, I do.
Would you like to live in rural America?
Yeah, I would be fine living about where he's at, that kind of thing. You still can get to anything you want, but you got some peace and quiet out there. 100% I would.
Well,
You're
you
more
got-
than more
don't
than
you have
welcome
some
to stop
property?
by. Yeah,
Would you allow the Dudas to build on that property?
well, that's not my decision.
Well, but what, I'm asking you. A couple weeks ago, you made a big deal. I got this several acres of property.
No, our
Now you're-
family does.
Well,
I
aren't
don't
you in the
own it.
family?
I don't own it.
But if it came about,
My in-laws own it.
it could potentially happen to where you made that property, your family made that property available to Duda.
Of course.
Wouldn't that be fun if we were neighbors?
I would enjoy that, actually. Yeah.
Oh, what a horrible thought.
It'd be fun to have a neighbor that I know and can hang out with a time or two.
Well, go get to know your neighbors.
What?
I'm not sure that's the right strategy for a guy like me.
How well do
don't-
you know? I would imagine that you know your neighbors fairly well.
I know the neighbors right beside us pretty good. Every time we're out, we have a chat, how they're doing, great. The neighbors behind us, I know them. And that's it because we're on a corner lot. So that's kind of the.
I know of our neighbors.
I know our neighbors a little bit. They stop by when we're walking and say hello, and we say hi to them sometimes.
Sometimes.
And by we, I mean Shannon.
Why don't you become more interactive?
I love hiding behind someone else who can communicate for me. I love that. I don't want to talk to you. It's no offense, but I just don't want to.
What a horrible person you sound like. I mean, I know you're not, but you sound just horrible.
Well, I'm not.
If that went out, if there's, again, I go to somebody driving through, and if they just tuned into that and heard only that, they'd never come back to Wichita.
I'm not really going to engage in small talk.
You're representing a community here.
I'm representing myself.
Try to at least seem somewhat palatable.
It's not that I'm not a small talk guy.
Why do you do radio?
We don't do small talk on radio.
What is this?
Small talk.
I don't think this is small talk. This is big. This is big picture stuff to me.
This is big picture stuff?
Absolutely.
This is small talk. I'm asking you guys about how you interact with your neighbors.
Do we have anything on the we interact fine. Do we have anything on the show, Jason?
Don't worry about what we have on
game.
the show.
It's Friday.
Of course I have.
Do we have 5 questions?
No.
Why'd you stop doing that? Again, the story of your life.
It's not that I
Jeff,
stopped doing it. We haven't
stopped Lutz.
Yeah, I do enjoy going on to the next thing, but what are you going to do?
I'm going to stop what I start Lutz.
Oh, we did 5 questions for a long time. That's usually for
I thought it was perpetual.
the slower months.
Is this not a slower month?
No, absolutely not. March? Are you kidding me? We'll get back to it in May, June. Jason has a game for us today.
No, I want to keep you the focus.
Okay, I mean,
you're really working hard to get us away from you.
I mean, it's not going to make any difference to me.
Do you have a game?
Yeah. Of course. It's Friday.
Can we both play it?
Well, yeah. It's going to be a competition.
And I go
We'll do
first.
that.
See your knowledge.
We'll do that in hour number 2. We've got Paul Sullentrop from Wichita State Strategic Communications, the Roundhouse. He's recently done a podcast with Kevin Saul. I've made it. I've gone on record. Here's what I put on Twitter just before the show started.
What?
I don't like NIL, and I think it's fair and right to compensate college athletes. Both things can be legitimate beliefs. There is too much vagueness in NIL. It has a Wild West feel and needs to be tamed. I believe Jason Duda would agree with that assessment.
I've been saying it before it started, that this is exactly what would happen. Yeah, I agree. Do they need to be compensated? Yes, there has to be a way that you should be able to do it. And with all the big brains at all those schools, someone should be able to figure it out fairly easily.
So you do think people that in college,
I think
with
they
university
should be
degrees have big brains?
Well, supposedly that's where they go.
You're saying that on the air.
I'm saying that because I didn't go.
What's so controversial about that?
Yeah.
Well, that indicates
There's
to me
a lot
that
of smart people
he
that
feels
go to
like
university.
he doesn't have a big brain.
When it comes to this,
not for
there
this.
should be something structured, as far as I'm concerned, with NIL, where you can get this amount of money. This is where you're capped at. This is what you can get. You can go to as many dinners as you want. If somebody wants to fly your parents in to watch a game, that should be fine. That's what they need to do. Compensate these kids in some way.
Well,
But this millions of dollars stuff, and then the guy sitting beside him is getting nothing.
Is that not big brain stuff coming from you?
Well, of course it's big brain stuff, but they're smarter than I am.
Well,
and
either
they can
you
write it down.
Either you believe in a free market capitalist society and let that go as it does, or you don't. We can't pick and choose, right? So if we've entered these kids into a free market capitalist society, then to come back and say, "Oh, well, you can only earn this much."
Tweak it. We're going to take a break. We'll continue with this conversation. We've got Paul Sullentrop coming up at 2:45. You all right?
Yeah. what?
We'll be back.
Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Call from mom. Answer it. Call silenced.
Instacart knows nothing gets between you and the game. That's why they make ordering from your couch easy. Stock up today and get all your groceries for the week delivered in as fast as 30 minutes without missing a minute of the game.
You have 47 new voicemails.
Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Hey, it's Jim Costa from Cash the Ticket. Tourney time is here. Mike Valeni and I are going through every matchup of the Big Dance, region by region, game by game. However you want to digest it, it's there. Download Cash the Ticket today. It's on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Bring on the night. This should be Jeff's theme song, Aerosmith, a song called Darkness.
Well, he likes darkness.
I do.
You got to load that up. By the way, have you heard the new Beyonce album?
I have not. Have you?
Heard bits and pieces of it. The song Texas Hold'em is tremendous.
Well, that's a song that's been out for quite a while.
I don't care if it's. I don't care when it came out.
The number
have
one.
You heard it?
Of course, I've heard it.
Well, it's great. I know dudes hadn't heard it.
Nope.
Don't even bother asking.
She did a cover of Jolene. I'm interested to hear that.
She changed the lyrics a little bit to be a little more strong-willed.
Okay.
About you're not taking my man.
Well, Jay-Z's a billionaire. She wouldn't want that. I'm sure she probably is too.
They're doing okay.
They're doing fine.
And this album will put her on even another level. Because what she's saying is, I can do anything.
It's nice, right?
You don't think I can do country and give me a break? I'll do anything. She's done 27 songs of country.
Pure artistry right there, branching out, trying new things.
Including a remake of Blackbird by the Beatles, which I heard today for the first time. And it's phenomenal. She's going to create so many more new fans with this. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I need to. You heard the Blackbird?
Yeah.
I need to hear that. It's my favorite Beatles song.
She's got Miley Cyrus. Who's gosh.
Doja Cat.
No, don't try to guess.
Oh, I don't know. Who's
Post Malone?
Not as exciting.
Some interesting collaborations. I'm into it. Maybe as we go to break, Max can play a little Texas Hold'em.
Maybe.
You will if I ask you to.
Oh.
How about that?
Oh, let the powers that be go at it a
Who
little bit.
disrespects- dudes?
Hold your own, Max.
Beyonce.
I will never play Freebird, and I will never play garbage like that.
Ridiculous.
You can go ahead and stab your ears, Max, but you'll play it.
No, you won't.
That's a ridiculous
No, he'll
line.
play it.
They can fire me. I would never play it, ever.
Oh, Max.
I'm with Max. I bet he doesn't play it.
Wait a minute. You're with Max.
I'm with Max just saying that he's not going to play it.
Okay.
He's in
Max's
control.
life effectively ended in 1980. He's been living in that.
Listen,
since
Jeff,
then,
you're a
and he's
musical
aimlessly
poser.
wandering
You're
around it.
posers.
Name
You're
a
musical
song in
posers.
The last 10 years that you like, Max.
You're musical posers. Seether. Breaking Benjamin. Seether.
Oh, this hard rock garbage.
It's a hard rock.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You're a poser. You're posers. Musical posers.
That's why they're playing at the Nifty Nut House next weekend. All right. What?
It's
Breaking Benjamin?
Because a guy likes a different kind of music that you don't like, it's terrible.
Well,
that's
what
exactly what he's saying.
What he's telling us.
That's what I'm saying. You guys, it's ridiculous.
So why
your
are you?
opinions?
Why are you taking
what's it
one
matter?
side of this?
Just to poke the bear a little bit right now.
Well, I don't understand that. Why don't you look at both of us and say, let's get our wits about us.
Hey, Max.
I came up in a time in radio
what
when
you
you had
need
to have
to do, buddy.
integrity and you didn't play garbage.
No, you didn't, Max. You played a lot of garbage.
No, I didn't.
As did everybody
No, I
on
didn't.
radio.
No, I didn't.
Of course you did.
You want me to show?
You need to come into the real world.
See if I have any Seether in my playlist.
Wait a minute. I'm going after Max right now.
Well, go get him, kid.
That's like me saying,
When
I
I
came up at a time when only the greatest basketball and baseball was in my era. Baloney.
Didn't play garbage.
Wouldn't. That's just baloney.
Okay, if
It's
you say so.
baloney.
I guess you were there, Bob. You were there when I was on BOS,
I'm older
WRX,
than you are.
KCLB,
I listen to the
KCHV,
radio. I know
The
that there
Planet.
was garbage on the radio. There's always been garbage on the radio.
Didn't have to play it. I was in rock radio.
Garbage.
Oh, I did play
Seether,
garbage.
South African rock band.
I did play garbage.
So I do have some of them.
Oh,
right,
oh,
enough.
poser.
Fantastic. I'm glad you guys got that cleared up.
The name of the show is the Bob and Jeff Show. I'm just going to send a subtle reminder, and I'd like to hear Texas Hold'em.
Play it on Alexa. I will not play that garbage. I will not be associated with it. I just won't. Wouldn't play Freebird. There's tons of stuff I wouldn't play, and they knew it, and they didn't program
It's
it
not
for
that
me.
deep, Max.
Step out of the room, for crying out loud. This is ridiculous. All right, you're done. Turn it off. I'm done. I'm done talking about it. It's craziness, if I say so myself.
Over a song. Look at you guys.
Well, I mean, come on.
No, it is. That's what we're talking about. Over a song.
I know.
I thought it was a fairly innocent thing. I heard Texas Hold'em. I don't think it was last night. I think it was the night before. I have an immediate reaction to things, and I had no expectation. I don't normally jump at country music. I mean, some of it's good, but it's not like, oh, I'm just going to love this. Heard the song, and I did love it.
Well, that's great. I haven't heard it. I don't think I could name a Beyonce song.
You probably could.
Nah,
Name one?
He couldn't.
Single ladies?
That's okay. It's okay.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
We know Duda's not into music. That's okay.
He's into some music, country music.
I'm into a little bit of country, but not like you guys. But that's the only.
Listen,
spot
it's
where
not like Jeff's probably more into music now than I am, because I don't keep up as well on the current stuff. I make an effort, but it's hard. It's hard when you're not.
I mean, if you close yourself off to a genre of music, then you're not a music fan. So why would you not be open-minded about everything? If you claim to be a music person and you say, oh, I won't even be associated with that, I don't understand that.
So then you'd consider yourself not a music person in that regard.
No, I am a music person.
Well, I don't think you're as closed off as Max.
No,
is,
I'm not closed off at all.
or as I am to some things. I probably am not going to. There's genres of music that I'm not well versed in, that I don't listen to. And there's also genres of music that you don't listen to.
I suppose. I mean, there's genres of music I don't listen to. But it's not because I won't be associated with it. It's just not for me. But if someone asks, hey, can you play this song? Why would I be offended by that? Doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I asked you to play a song at the baseball game and you wouldn't play it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be associated with
What song was it?
Center field.
Yeah. So that's a similar attitude that we're hearing about
kinda
now.
what I was
Gosh,
thinking.
dang it. How do I get out of this?
You
That's
just said that.
extremely similar.
And it's the exact same thing.
But I would be associated with it. I just didn't want to play it.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I'll be associated with it. I don't mind it. It's a fine song.
And you were a center fielder.
But it's a little too on the nose for me.
Well, but here's what you did that's similar. Wait a minute. Here's what Jeff did when you asked him about playing center field that's similar to what Max is doing. I'm too good for that. I'm too much of a music aficionado. I'm playing the music here for the wind surge. I got to keep it real.
Yeah.
I can't just fall into these baloney.
That's what I thought.
Well, next time I'm doing music and you are there, which probably will never happen again, I'll play center field just for you.
Let's go to a game.
You have my
next
word.
Time you're playing music,
I don't know that I'll ever play music again. They got a new front office in there. I don't know if they know my talent, skills, and abilities to play the music.
Well, you got to introduce yourself.
I'm working a lot of games already.
I will be at the game a week from tonight, the season opener, and I'm being treated to the Fidelity Bank Club.
Whoa!
Well, I'll stop in and say hello.
Nah, we'd rather not see you.
Well, you'll see me. I'll be right next door.
I kind of keep you at a distance that evening, if you don't mind.
You need to go over and say hi, Jeff.
I will.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, come on over.
Yep.
But it's nice that Jay Miller and the group down there. I'll be accepting a donation from the Wind Surge, also the Minnesota Twins, before the game.
Very nice.
Look forward to that, and then get to go up to the Fidelity Bank Club.
Papa Big Wheel.
Ah,
there he is.
Doesn't get any better.
He's the man. Just ask him. He'll tell you.
Pretty beautiful.
I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying it because I'm thankful. Does that make sense?
Well, I can appreciate.
I think it's cool the Northwest Arkansas Naturals are going to be doing a skills clinic for you in June.
They are.
I
June
like that.
28th. That's because I finally connected with the Kansas City Royals, and they're being extremely generous. And then on May 4th, the United States women's baseball team will be in town to do a clinic for the girls of League 42. How cool is that?
That's good stuff.
So lots of fun stuff happening with League 42. All right, Paul Sullentrop joins us from Wichita State Strategic Communications. Paul's recently done a podcast with Kevin Saul, who is a frequent guest on our show. We've talked NIL with Kevin. It continues to be one of those topics that confuses me and I don't have a great understanding of. And Paul, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so talk about the impetus, what led you to sit down with Kevin and talk to him about not just NIL, but a lot of different matters as it relates to Wichita State athletics. Where'd that come from? And then did you learn much in the conversation?
I did learn a lot. Some of it was refreshed. Some of it was he has a good way of putting things or explaining things. I think it came about because transfer portal, NIL, is always top of mind here. And as we get to the spring after basketball season, there's a lot of, we've kind of become just like Adam Schefter or, NBA. We are transaction crazy. And this is kind of maybe unfortunately become transaction season in college athletics. So it was a big thing that was on people's minds, on Wichita State fans' minds. And Kevin is the guy that can explain it. And so I had him on the podcast.
So I've noticed recently Kevin Saul getting into some Facebook comment section, trying to talk with fans, trying to kind of help them understand how important, at least from your conversations with Kevin, is his desire to kind of help fans understand kind of the new landscape of college athletics.
Yeah, and I noticed the same thing. That was one of the reasons why I had him on the podcast. That's, he's doing a lot of outreach in that area, and I think that's a strong indication. I think he would tell you it is might be the most important thing he is working on in that, in that area. Is that I think there's a feeling that it would not be unique to Wichita State, but there's a feeling you've got to get NIL right. You've got to get a plan. NIL has to work with other parts of your department, which he talks a lot about in the podcast about, not just NIL, but, doing good things for the athletes as far as academics, as far as mental health, as far as strength and conditioning, all those kind of things. You're trying to wrap it into a total package to recruit and perhaps more importantly, retain them.
Well, Paul, is this how do I word this correctly? Let's just do it this way. Is Wichita State behind with the NIL situation, and what are they going to do to fix it? Because that has to be part of the big problem.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as he said, I think he regards Wichita State as being behind. He started, it'll be 2 years ago in, I guess, late June or early July. he regarded it as being behind. I think that my impression is it was a very rules-following culture at Wichita State, or is a very rules-following culture at Wichita State. But when NIL first came, it was intended to be something, and it pretty quickly turned into something totally else. And if you were trying to obey the letter of the law, as I think Wichita State and other schools were, there was an opportunity where you got run over by schools that were not concerned with the niceties of, what it was supposed to be. And I think we all know, or many of us know, and I keep using Sidney McKinney as the example. NIL was intended for an athlete like Sidney McKinney to be able to do a camp and make $500 or sell her art or do those kind of things and make some money from her athletic abilities, from her name, image, and likeness. And I think it pretty quickly became a recruiting inducement. And if you were not on the cutting edge of that, or if you didn't already have those kind of recruiting inducements, as part of your setup, you maybe were behind.
Well, and Paul, and I'd said before this started, it's just going to turn into free agency, which is kind of basically what has happened. But do you think that, I'm not against the students making some money or getting some money, but don't you think there has to be some sort of way that we can put a structure in for each school and you abide by that? Do you think that would work, or do you think you just kind of get rid of it? Because it's not working where it is right now.
Or what does Kevin, because I don't know that Paul has probably opinions, but
I'm asking for Paul's opinion.
Structure, I guess one of the issues is the NCAA tried structure. That has not worked, and it has not worked, I think, and again, Kevin would be better to answer these questions than I have, but if you're following the NCAA at all, they lose basically every court case, and they have issues. We like to blame the NCAA. The NCAA is a group of member schools that vote on rules, decide on rules, policies, all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go very far back to where you see the NCAA said, we're going to do it this way, maybe on transfers. And then a month later, they will be sued by their own member institutions to change that, or how NIL is operated. So it's a difficult issue. And so when you say structure, I think all of us fans would like to know that, these players or these athletes are going to be around for 4 years, those kind of things. But that does not seem to be, the NCAA can't get any backing to do that.
Paul Sullentrop with us, Wichita State Strategic Communications. He just did a podcast with Kevin Saul. You can hear that. If you go to, tell us how to hear it, Paul. Where would people go to hear your podcast?
You can go to GoShockers.com, and there's a link there, a story that will send you to the podcast. The Roundhouse Podcast is the name that is what it's called.
So NIL is just one thing. We've also got the transfer portal. We've got gambling now, which is pervasive in all of sports. The president of the NCAA recently said that it would be his desire to eliminate prop betting from college sports. I certainly understand that perspective. It just seems like we've entered a realm that was unimaginable 10 years ago with all of this coming at once. I was thinking earlier, we used to lament the one-and-dones, the players that would come to college, spend a year, and then become draft eligible and head off to the NBA. Now we have one-and-dones all over the place from their choice, the athlete's choice. I guess there's a question in there somewhere, but you mentioned fans. How much harder is it going to be a fan of college athletics as we continue to see this massive turnover, this vagueness when it comes to NIL, the potential of gambling issues? That could all pile up, couldn't it?
Yeah, it is not an easy time to be a fan, to be a coach, to be an administrator, because all these things that you're mentioning are big, earth-shaking changes. And I guess we'll see how sustainable some of this is. I guess my thought would be, and probably not much different from a lot of people, is that we get money is important. We all like money. We all like being told we're wanted. We all like being told we're needed. And so when you are a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old and you have opportunity to make more money and somebody is telling you how much they want you, I get it. And sometimes those transfers may work out well. But I also think that we also know, I mean, we were all 20 or 21 at one point, and we all maybe made some poor decisions. And there is value in doing hard things and sticking together and learning and grinding through. Those things can all be helpful. So we're kind of in this dilemma of how do we help and, shape these young people. That's kind of what coaches do. That's why they got in the business in a lot of cases, is to help young people and guide them through. And sometimes that takes on, uncomfortable feelings. I think that's the way Kevin Saul described it. So how are we getting through all this? Boy, it's choppy right now. And I think that, as Kevin would say, you've got to do the best you possibly can as far as providing the athletes good mental health care, good physical care, good academics, and then make your school, in this case Wichita State, a difficult place to leave.
Do you think, Paul, I'm thinking like Moneyball, when Oakland, a small market team, found what they then called a market inefficiency and started building team different ways. Do you think that will exist in college basketball? Can a school just, hey, we're going to just recruit out of high school and play freshmen and hope to develop them? Or is it this way for good? And if you're not doing the things that every other school is doing, then you're just going to fall behind?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting area, because all coaches at a lot of different levels, whether it's NCAA Division I on down, will tell you the high school kids are the ones who are getting squeezed out here. And so I think to really take advantage of that, you would maybe need to be a coach who was really secure in their job, so that you could live with recruiting high school students. So now you're playing your 19-year-olds against 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, and that may be difficult. Always with the risk that 19-year-old that you maybe invest 2 years in is going to, enter the transfer portal at some point. So I think that sounds like that's really possible. I'm not sure every coach is going to want to go that route, because you may be sacrificing wins down that path.
Well, look at the case of John Calipari just this year. A lot of young players on Kentucky's roster. That's the way he likes to do it. He likes to have young players on his roster. They went pretty far, but they got ousted early in the NCAA tournament. The Kentucky fans were extremely vocal, calling for his head. Calmer heads prevailed. He's going to be back at Kentucky. But you're right. I mean, the way he does it may become even more rare, because I'm not sure that a guy like John Calipari can continue down the path that he's been on when it comes to recruiting and playing young players. So lots of unknowns in the world of college athletics. Paul, thank you. I really appreciate having you on.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Paul Sullentrop from Wichita State Strategic Communications. We'll take a break. We've got another hour left of this frivolity, joyfulness.
Oh, I feel the joy.
Just wonderful feelings.
I knew what joyful was, but for all us, I don't know what that is.
Philadelphia.
I know what Philadelphia is.
He's playing it.
He may have left.
Maybe.
He's playing what?
Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em, Beyonce. It's a great song. I love it.
It's just music.
All right, we'll be back. Hour number 2.
How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Rhode Island jam like you're all in the same garage. Get Cox Internet powered by fiber with America's fastest download speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them with more on the way. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone. Whether it's because of cost, range, or concern about finding a charging station when you need it. Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future. In vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too, in the years ahead. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyondzero. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Tony Kornheiser's show. I'm Tony. So what exactly is the show about? It's a sports show nominally. Football's over, but we're finally at a point where things matter in college basketball, and baseball season is on deck. Greatest 3 words in the English language, pitchers and catchers. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.